Yeah.
Gotta work on my... Until I used to play tennis? I hope so. Anyway, welcome to this review. Today we are reviewing the next Best Picture nominee in my ongoing series of the 2022 Best Picture nominee reviews with King Richard. Nominated for 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor for Will Smith, Best Supporting Actress for Anjanu Ellis, and Best Original Screenplay, King Richard follows the story of Richard Williams, the father of Venus and Serena Williams, and his pursuit to make them rise to the top of the tennis game and to become worldwide champions. Now, this is the one movie, you look at the Best Picture nominees, this is the one that checks off the box. Feel good, inspirational story, triumph over adversity, all that stuff. And yeah, it's obviously the most Oscar baity movie of the bunch. I mean, there's no question about that. And yet again, it's one of those movies where Will Smith gets pouty that he doesn't have an Oscar, and so he goes out and he sets out and tries to win one. And I think in this case, he's going to. So, and I'm not saying that necessarily is a bad thing, but I know some people think Will Smith is capable of much better material than this, and I would have to agree with them because he's a phenomenal actor. And that's not to say that this is bad at all, because obviously stories like this should be told, especially coming from the black experience. And obviously Will Smith did have quite a big passion for this project, because I mean he has the producer credit on it. He got nominated for Best Picture as well, so good on you. But yes, this movie is a very inspirational story, and obviously you see where Venus and Serena Williams ended up, obviously, and when it comes to the pantheon of tennis, and whatever Richard did absolutely worked. I mean, just throughout this movie, you see him pushing these girls so hard, and everybody keeps doubting him, like, no, this is never going to work. And then sometimes you get the, you know, kind of racial element there where people are talking down to him, and kind of like saying, yeah, you're never going to make it, especially coming from your background. You know, that's kind of like the thing they say to him. And the thing that's so impressive about this movie, I think, first and foremost, is Will Smith as Richard Williams. He is phenomenal in this movie, and just down to the mannerisms, I mean, he completely transforms himself into Richard Williams. Now, I don't know if his speech mannerisms were quite as broken as they are here, you know, and so maybe that's a little bit of a creative liberty that not everybody is going to agree with, but he's magnetic in this movie. And the thing that's so interesting about his portrayal of Richard Williams, he's such a complex character. And I think that's why you're so drawn to him, because on one hand you're like, wow, he's really screwing all these people over. Like, he's like making them agree to some deal, and then he kind of leaves something out. It's like, well, you said you agreed to this, and yet he's like, I never said anything about that, but this you said you'd agree to, so here we are. And he kind of like talks at everybody with a smile, and it's like so hard not to like him, but at the same time you're kind of like, oh my goodness, I feel so bad for these people who are kind of getting roped into his schemes here. And another thing that's so noteworthy about Will Smith's portrayal as Richard Williams is how he's such a great father, yet he's so stern. And like kind of combining those two elements of sternness and love, I've never seen it portrayed in such a complex way. And just like the lessons he teaches these girls, some of them are really, really harsh, but you can tell that he does it out of love, and that they have a great amount of respect and love for him back, which I just think is absolutely brilliant, the way that was constructed in the film. But obviously he knew what he was doing, because you see where they end up, and that's what's so great about this story, is you see the genesis. You specifically see the rise of Venus Williams in the story. And here Venus Williams is played by Saniyya Sidney, who I think is also fantastic, and I think obviously doesn't get the credit she deserves compared to Will Smith and Anjanu Ellis. But regardless, she really anchors this movie, and probably is the most relatable, one of the most relatable characters in the story. And because obviously you see what he puts her through, and it begs the question: is this just for him, or is this for her? And I think that's where the biggest conflict in the movie lies, where it's like, is this all about Richard's ego, or do his girls really want this? Because you also have this neighbor who keeps threatening to call child services. She's a really annoying character, but definitely adds a lot of tension to the film. And obviously you see where they come from in Compton, and just the adversity they face on the street day to day. This was his way to keep his girls off the streets and to getting into anything bad. And but really back to Will Smith. I mean, I don't know if this is his best performance. I still have to see Ali in The Pursuit of Happiness, but this is the one that's going to win him the Oscar. He's been winning all the Guild Awards. And obviously, I would like to see, Benedict Cumberbatch, especially Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom win. But this is Will Smith's award to lose, and at this point, that is absolutely fine with me. But obviously, the other huge standout in this movie, another Academy Award nominee for this, is Anjanu Ellis, who plays Brandy Price, the wife of Richard Williams. And she is just fantastic. And I think there's one scene in particular that everybody is going to be talking about, which is they're probably going to play as the Oscar clip if they do. And yeah, I mean, just phenomenal what she brings to this movie. Yet again, another incredibly grounded performance. And she kind of is the heart of this movie, the one who keeps a good head on her shoulders and kind of puts Richard in his place, because he absolutely needs it. And also, I think, has one of the most heartbreaking stories in the film. You feel the most sympathetic towards her out of anybody, and she's just absolutely incredible. Very deserving of the nomination that she got in this category. I don't think she's going to win, obviously I've already talked about that, but certainly worthy of the nomination nonetheless. But I think the big thing for me in this movie is, obviously the story is great. You like to see these black empowerment tales of something that really happened, and because it's hard to really get here. But obviously they were dedicated and everything, and they made it work. They went all the way, and I think that's the beautiful thing about the story. Anybody can relate to that. But I think where this movie kind of falters for me is kind of the portrayal of Richard Williams. Obviously, I'm not talking about Will Smith's performance. I'm talking about what they had to say here, and I think that there's some things that they left out about his personal life that they kind of glanced over it. They kind of mentioned it, but avoided it. That I think this movie makes him out to be a bit more of a better person than he actually is. And I think for me that is where the problem comes in, because I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. Really did. So enjoyable from top to bottom. But thinking about that, I'm like, okay, this is kind of full of crap, at least some of the stuff that they're presenting here. So you have to take this movie for what it's worth. You have to take it with a grain of salt, if you will. But Ronaldo Marcus Green, it's quite a follow-up to his last film, Monsters of Men, which I thought was really, really good. A much more independent film. Had John David Washington, Anthony Ramos, just to name a couple of people in there. But obviously this is a bit more sanitized, if you will. Like, we've seen this story many, many times done in different ways. And that isn't always a problem. But here it feels fairly pedestrian. Nothing is really going to stand out when it comes to the direction. Though it got an editing nomination, which I was kind of confused by, especially over West Side Story. That absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. But it is a smooth ride. It's over 2 hours long, but I enjoyed watching almost every second of it. There isn't anything really bad in it. It's just a feel-good movie that Oscar voters are going to eat up. I don't think all the way to Best Picture. But I think it, makes sense. Got a nomination, considering how they usually vote for things. But I think it's my least favorite out of all the Best Picture nominees this year, which I think is saying a lot, because all of these movies are really good this year, even if I didn't love them. There's no question that I think every single one of these is really solid from top to bottom, and King Richard is absolutely no exception. And also, I just want to mention another great inclusion in this cast. John Bernthal is Rick Macy, absolutely phenomenal. He's so lively and upbeat and charming, and you don't really see John Bernthal in this type of performance, so kind of seeing his dynamic with Will Smith in this movie is also super entertaining, and he really is yet again another great presence. And obviously Demi Singleton as Serena Williams, who obviously, you know, this is more of Venus' story, but she is worth mentioning because all these kids are terrific. Everybody in the Williams family is just great, and yeah, I can't believe that this played off so well. And yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. I mean, it's on streaming now, I think. Well, you have to rent it, but whatever. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it already when it came out on HBO Max. But there isn't a whole lot more I have to say about King Richard. And except I think that they're more deserving screenplay nominees, but you know, makes sense that it got in. And I'm going to give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. A really solid, crowd-pleasing movie with some issues when it comes to the presentation. But obviously Will Smith is incredible, and I'm excited for him. I mean, who would have thought the Fresh Prince would have ended up becoming an Academy Award-winning actor? I mean, that's kind of crazy, but hey, that might be the timeline we're living in, guys. So, yeah. If you've seen King Richard, let me know what you think in the comments below. Is it less of a problem for you, the things I was saying, if you know what I'm talking about? Let me know if that's how you feel. And as always, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you like what you're seeing here, and be on the lookout for my last movie review of the Best Picture nominees from 2022. That is The Power of the Dog. You don't want to miss that one. The Oscars are coming up, and so is my top 10 movies of 2021. That video is going to be out to you Sunday night. No question about that. I'm going to put my best foot forward when it comes to that and give you guys some really great content. So yeah, guys, until then, I'll see you